start off, what did you think about just your team's defensive effort in this one? How big was that to come out with them?
It was fantastic. We're all super proud of how we responded, taking care of home floor. And our guys collectively, they made winning plays after winning plays. It was a fun game to be a part of.
And, we mentioned it a few times over the past few weeks, but how much was that defensive effort kind of fueled by, B.I. and Zion kind of taking on the challenge the way they did all night?
B.I. and Z, they were great. They, like you said, they took on the challenge. Guarding Kawhi, guarding Paul George, making those guys have to take tough shot after tough shot. We know that they were coming off a back-to-back. But we loved our energy, our effort, our togetherness, and it was great to carve out a win against a really good team.
Yeah, in a relatively low-scoring game, what were you guys able to do to put Zion in position, over and over again to where he was able to get to his spots and get to the basket as much as possible?
We saw something that was working, and we just stayed with it, putting the ball in Z's hands, allowing him to attack, make decisions for his teammates, get to the free throw line, and we just stayed with it. And, great to have him on the floor playing as well as he's playing. And then the guys around him are all, ready to 0.5, shoot the ball, drive it, share the basketball. Really good win for us on our home floor.
Willie, what do you like best about the way the team finished? I think it was 196 score with about 6 minutes to go. What stood out to you over that remaining stretch?
I thought our defensive winning plays, contesting shots, boxing out. We had 3-4 guys diving on the floor for loose balls. Going after 50-50 basketballs, those are winning plays. That was a playoff-like game. You guys could feel it in our building. And that's what's going to take, that type of togetherness, that type of sense of urgency and endurance to do it for 48 minutes.
What do you think of Z's competitive fire? Usually there's other guys pumping out everybody else on a team like Herb and everybody, but it seemed like Z was really the main voice tonight.
Z definitely had a big part in carrying us on both ends of the floor. I thought he was fantastic. And then, like I said before, with his teammates rallying around him, ready to take open shots, drive the basketball, things that we worked on in practice. We were a little stagnant against Cleveland, so it was good to see us respond with the effort and the togetherness, like 0.5 mentality that we had tonight offensively.
And Willie, we keep talking about Herb Jones, but the block he had on the Paul George side, what you kind of see on there? What did you think about
it? That block was incredible. I didn't even know he could get to it. It looked like he had a wide open three and Herb comes out of nowhere. But Herb has been one of our most consistent, steady, high character players all season long. He was playing through a little bit of a bump, bruise, or something like that, and to have him on our squad is a true blessing. And they just don't make a lot of guys like him. Tough, attention to detail that he and selfless, goes out every game and plays his heart out. And he's not going to come up here and boast about himself, but he, in our opinion, he's definitely first team all defense.
Your second unit was really good tonight. Z, Trey, Jose, Najee lined up with Larry. What do you think about it? What did you kind of see from those guys?
Yeah, they brought it across the board. Everybody that touched the floor off the bench, like you said. I love the fact that Najee kind of was struggling a little bit offensively, got some fouls, and he just stuck with it. And he hit some big shots for us down the stretch. Same with Jose early in the game. He hit some big shots, and then Larry and Trey feeding off Z, feeding off BI. Collectively as a team, really solid game for us.
Zion's growth has been kind of misconstrued a little bit. Mentally, I think he's getting stronger. It seems like the game is slowing down for him. What do you see from Zion, let's say, the last couple of weeks since the All-Star break? Like, is he getting better, or is the game slowing down for him from your eyes?
I think he's continuing to get better and better as the season progresses. It's actually truly a joy to be around him. He wants to be coached. He wants to be the best that he could possibly be. His teammates, like I said, they're all rallying around him. and he's taking the challenge on both ends of the floor. He's a competitor. He wants to win, and that's what it's about for us. It's coming out every game, competing, and giving ourselves a chance to win games.
About 3 minutes left, we went to that lineup with Z at the point with the 3 wings.
Yeah.
Vance at the 5. What did you like? What made you kind of decide to go with that group, and what did you like about the way they executed over those final couple of minutes?
To your point, I liked our size out there with Trey, B.I., Herb, Larry, and then Z kind of handling the ball, making decisions. Him and B.I. kind of feeding off each other. You got Trey and Herb space, Larry in the dunker. It's tough offensively. And then on the defensive end, all of those guys can switch screens. And our mentality is when we're small, Larry's still a 5, but we all have to rebound the ball. When we finish possessions, contest shots, we can get out and still play with force. So we like what we saw with that group, the rhythm that they had, and we stuck with it.
I know you're probably similar to her in that you don't want to big yourself up too much. But how much, is that a part of growing as a coach, kind of figuring out maybe unconventional lineups or doing something different in a big moment and just pushing that button and going with it instead of, maybe going to something you're more comfortable with?
For sure. I definitely feel like I'm continuing to learn. I'm learning from our players, learning from our staff, learning from, our management group. We're all working together to try to make this season the best possible season that we can have. And with that, there's sometimes you got to make some uncomfortable decisions. And I believe that that's where the most growth happens, is when you're uncomfortable and you got to do something that's probably against the norm. But, sometimes that's what the moment causes.
Zion, we mentioned his intensity and his growth throughout the season. How important is it for him to go through an atmosphere like this? It kind of was a playoff-like intensity. Like, how much do you feel like that's important going into the postseason?
It's extremely important. It's important for Z. It's important for all of us. These games, high-level, high-intensity games, they prepare you for what's to come, or the games that we want to be involved in. And so you learn from them. You learn what works, what can you execute offensively, what are teams trying to do to us, how to get stops, how to rebound, got to make your free throws. So just the small details, you get these high-level games, and they're fun to be a part of.
And then how important is it to obviously keep the momentum rolling tomorrow against Portland?
It'll be extremely important. We want to enjoy this one tonight first, and we'll get back to work tomorrow morning, getting ready for Portland for tomorrow night.
Coach, you were asked a couple of times already about how Zion has played in this game. And of course, he's not yet played in a playoff matchup, but his ability to rise in these occasions and to play at this high level in these playoff-like atmospheres, what are you seeing that really shows him rising to the occasion?
First, it's him. It's who he is. He's a competitor. And anytime he touches the floor, he's going to do everything he can to win. That doesn't always mean we're going to win, but we try to give ourselves an opportunity more times than not. And then we try to make scenarios when we can in practice as competitive as possible. So our guys are getting accustomed to doing it. We're continuing to work at it, and we like what we see, but we know we still got a ways to go.